Welcome to Marketing Mistakes and How to Avoid Them, a weekly podcast hosted by Stacy Jones, the CEO and founder of Los Angeles entertainment marketing agency Hollywood Branded. Join Stacy and learn from her 20 years of experience as she shares top-notch advice on marketing best practices for brands and walks you through how to leverage entertainment content and influencer partnerships to increase your brand's overall consumer engagement and, most importantly, your sales. And now, here's your host, Stacy Jones.
Welcome to another episode of Marketing Mistakes and How to Avoid Them. I'm Stacy Jones, and today I'm going to talk to you about 7 reasons why our agency blogs. And I have to say, it really works well to drive leads. It takes so much time, but it's so worth it. If you've ever visited our website, or if you're on our weekly e-newsletter, then you've noticed Hollywood branded blogs a lot. We've made it the backbone to our inbound marketing strategy and have been blogging since 2012. When we first started, we simply used our WordPress website platform and wrote a single blog a week. Now we write anywhere from 3 to 5 blogs each week and use more advanced software that allows us incredible insight into the online user interaction. And it's made a fantastic change for our company. We went from always selling our agency benefits and who we are on every single phone call to rarely having to go over more than a gloss of who we are and what we do for brands. As the person on the other line already knows when they pick up the phone and give us a call who we are. It's an absolute game changer, and I believe all brands should be blogging despite the time it takes. So the first reason we blog is because of SEO. There are very few keywords relevant to our agency that we write about where we don't pop up on the first page of Google at this point, but we're always looking for more options. And that's the biggie of what blogging has done for Hollywood Branded. It's allowed us to be found easily on Google when people search for either short or long tail keywords. What are those? Well, a short keyword is going to be 1 or 2 words that are pretty basic about your business. And it's a really hard way to stand out because even as a specialist agency that's all about product placement, celebrity endorsements, influencer marketing, and event activations, all of those things I just said had 2 words to each of those specific things we do. Those specific words have been written about thousands of times, and often by individuals not in any agency business and not related at all to our field, but by writers of big name magazines like Forbes or newspapers like the Wall Street Journal. When those big media outlets write, they have tremendous clout. Others link to those articles in their own blogs and articles, and Google sees them as highly relevant and pops them up onto first page rankings. So that means it's easy to get lost in the world of the internet. And if you're lost, then you're losing business too, because your future clients can't find the important information you are trying to share with them. But writing blogs and using long tail keywords, where a few words are strung together to make a mini sentence in such a way that people might actually search for them, like get your brand on talk shows, is a strategy that really works. We typically stay in the 1st or 4th ranking on the first page using the keyword structure of get your brand on talk shows. Right now, as I'm talking, we're in the position 3. Other long-tail keywords to the subject that might be relevant for us to write about that people search for often are also given by Google when you type in strings. And our team can use those for future blog article ideas to structure an article around if we write on a similar topic. By the way, our video and infographics also end up ranking on first pages on Google, based on what meta tag data we reference them as. But that content conversation will be held for another day. They are both musts in my opinion for any brand, but they can be a little more to bite off than the blog to start. Second reason why we blog, expertise. Another of the golden reasons we write is to establish an expertise position online. And boy, do we have it. We don't know any other agency in our space who's quite as prolific on sharing what we know and how to do it. And it's a different type of stance to take, and one that our competitors don't always embrace. Why? Well, we're giving away the farm, so to speak. In many of our blog posts, we tell brand marketers exactly what they need to do within the space of influencer and entertainment marketing to be successful. Step by step, in fact. And further support it with infographics, insight videos, and more. But it's a very different thing telling someone how to do something, and then having them go out, develop the systems and processes, and in our case, the massive amount of relationships to actually do it. Plus, we have over 20 years of knowing what not to do from some pretty intense learning experiences along the way. So we know how to do the things we do inside and out. Rinse and repeat. Brands and agencies, not so much. So it takes the scary out of sharing away. And sure, a brand can absolutely use the information we provide and do it on their own. And when they're ready to up the ante and do something bigger and more outside their comfort zone, our proven process of getting it done, and having taught them to start, will hopefully still be in their memory when they look online and Google for more help. As a third reason why we blog, It provides continued touches to future clients. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten an email out of the blue from someone who said, I was just in a meeting where we talked about fill in the blank, influencer marketing, product placement, celebrities, and your blog that I get each week reminded me that I should reach out to you. Or someone will thank my team for not being perpetual stalkers and for being too salesy, and says we give them enough information through our blog and email newsletters to have them keep us top of mind for when the conversation does become more relevant. It's a lot better than having a sales team doing endless follow-up calls, and helps make those deals that you thought might be dead come back alive down the line. And we are here for the long haul. Whether we have a conversation with someone this month and start a program, or the program starts a year down the line. As a fourth reason why we blog, it's great PR exposure. With over 20 years of experience in this field, I'm often reached out to by media outlets to weigh in on different branded entertainment and celebrity stories. The blogs allowed me to be even more positioned as a thought leader on a global level. We can provide unique, turnkey, and easy content bites, as we've already thought through and developed solid answers to many of the most asked questions. I write many of the blogs on Hollywood Branded, with a specific focus on the how to accomplish type of content. And by writing so frequently, it's fed at my own ability to speedily be able to respond to a last-minute request by media. From blog writing, my brain's just trained to better think on the spot. And by the way, once you get that amazing PR, you can share a link to that article and provide some more insight to what the reporter may have not included in your blog. Another reason why we blog is for team development. I admit that I require everyone in the agency to write. As if you can't tell, I think it's a great way to develop a point of view, as well as helps focus additional education through research needed to be able to compose a solid blog. Our team learns to be able to better storytell through the written word, which then translates into client and inter-office communication as well. It also helps to keep everyone's eyes open to new trends that we should know about before a client, and to dig in and find out if they are worthwhile trends, or software subscriptions, or new sales strategies, or not. As a sixth reason for why we blog, it provides us content repurpose. While writing blogs in order to create contents was not the original purpose of why we wrote, it's become the backbone to our entire content marketing strategy. Our how-to blogs are repurposed as the inspiration for our agency infographics, our ebooks, and even my podcast. We take snippets from them and use them for our social media, and of course we use all of our social media platforms to drive back awareness to our blogs as well. We've taken some of this content and turned it into email marketing campaigns, as well as a SlideShare deck, and all of our blogs are shared through our e-newsletter on a weekly basis. We are now in the midst of launching our influencer marketing school, which takes our how-tos and repositions them as classes based around specific subject matter. And I'm just finishing up editing my first book. That would not have been able to be as easily accomplished if it were not for the massive amounts of content I had already written, which I could then pull from to build out chapter upon chapter. And everything we produce at the agency in terms of ebooks, videos, infographics, and research studies, we then have blogs written to support that content as well. It truly is a never-ending cycle of content that builds and gets more defined and helpful with each new piece created. As a seventh reason why we blog, the phone calls and email inquiries of sales are just tremendous. Our agency doesn't have an extremely active outbound sales strategy. Through the years, I've learned that endless cold calls are just that. Endless and not very productive. We have focused entirely on inbound marketing, as that has been what's proven to make our phones ring and our inboxes fill up with requests for more information from around the globe. All of our blogs have what is called call to actions embedded in them, with offers to download content or watch videos, all exchanged by payment of a name and email address of the reader. That's our spider web, but we're a very friendly spider. We don't stalk, and we wait for those who have interest to come to us with questions. All the while, we continue to share content that's based on the articles they have read and the content they've downloaded, which we believe will be helpful in solving their questions in their own research. We provide solutions, instead of cold, salesy emails that are interruptive and intrusive. And that's why we use HubSpot now as our sales and marketing platform. It's a CRM that's built to help us keep track of and communicate with those individuals who have shown interest in our influencer and entertainment marketing programs. And we get a whole lot of other insight into what people are interested in as well, without having to be daily experts at software programs like SEMrush or Google Analytics, although we have a team who uses those too. So I just mentioned some software. And when we first started, we were simply using our WordPress platform to blog on, and in fact had our blogs in 3 languages: English, Simplified Chinese, and Traditional Chinese. The layout of the blog just wasn't that pretty. I didn't like it at all. And it was really hard to see detail about user interaction, even with a deep dive to Google Analytics, which were linked to the blog, and calls to action complete with landing pages. We needed a master's in website design to be able to build those out. But oh, have times changed. When I realized that WordPress wasn't actually a great solution or ideal, I ended up doing some massive homework, also known as endless research into the unknown, did trial upon trial, learned things that were so techy that I never want to go there again, and decided to purchase the HubSpot software that was starting to generate conversations and traction at that time. Other software platforms were good, but HubSpot had components like blogging and CRM usage, and I knew the learning curve for our team would be infinitely shorter, and that even our interns would be able to use it. So let's take a look at what it's done for us. The software was a big commitment, as at the time their pricing structure and offerings were really better for larger companies with bigger lists. But we committed, and over the years have watched our email list grow and interactions skyrocket. It's still a high financial commitment, but the power inbound marketing software has brought to our agency makes it a must-have, not a nice-to-have. In fact, each year we have seen a tripling in our blog traffic since we began, where we now easily average over 100,000 views per year. This year, we'll definitely hit over 250,000, which means we're very excited for this next year and each year thereafter. We build upon older articles to help keep them relevant and make them even stronger as Google continues to revise their own search engine strategies and how they position the content agencies like ours right. But here's the thing. Studies are stating that 76% of your blog views come from old content, which means you need to be blogging for some time before you are necessarily going to see skyrocketing views. And you're going to need to tweak that content along the way to keep it relevant. So that means you need to start blogging now in order to impact your sales for years to come. 6 years later, blogging is now an absolutely integral part of how our agency does business on a day-to-day basis. And we've made it integral for many of our clients as well by helping them understand the process, get a software system set up that they can actually keep to, and even assist in writing blog content and creating the research studies, video, and infographic content that will help keep their views growing and their phones ringing. So all of our blog content has one goal, just like all of our content marketing does: to teach, to solve problems, and to provide information that no one else does. And we do it in great abundance. In our case, we want to provide someone with the knowledge on how they're going to be spending their marketing dollars, and that they know our agency guarantee stands true. We will guarantee introduction to Hollywood and influencer relationships that brands simply cannot easily access for themselves. They'll save more and get more out of the campaign, things that they never would have even known to ask for, with us than without us. And after working with Hollywood Branded, those content and influencer and celebrity decision makers will forever know the brand and be more likely to work with them than before they started a program with us. Really, blogging is just brand-owned content. And while I certainly believe every brand, whether targeted consumers or businesses, should have an active voice, what really matters is that the brand has any voice. So if your brand isn't ready to start blogging and creating content, think about ways you can leverage third-party voices, like influencers and other content creators, and find ways to create brilliant product placement programs where your brand becomes interwoven into their social posts, TV shows, music lyrics, or feature films. And if you ever want to look behind the scenes on how we use HubSpot, just drop me a line. Send me an email at stacy@hollywoodbranded.com. I love the software, and I'm happy to walk you through the system and talk to you about it. We take all the classes, and there are a lot, to try to understand how best to use all the bells and whistles, with a big emphasis on making our new business development team's day way easier. And we're a HubSpot partner, which brings some extra bells and whistles to those we introduce the program to as well. And when you have a chance, take a moment to read about how you can best partner with content creators in our Product Placement and Promotions 101 ebook that you can find on hollywoodbranded.com. And while you're there, check out our library, which has infographics and white papers, ebooks and videos, or our blog, blog.hollywoodbranded.com, which has hundreds of helpful hints on how to make brand influencers and entertainment content partnerships a success from the get-go. That's it for this episode. I hope it was helpful. And please let me know if you have any feedback. I'll see you next week. And as always, if you need a little or a lot of help, my agency, Hollywood Branded, is here to lend a hand. If you would leave a review or any questions I can address in the future, I'd really appreciate it, as your feedback helps me know my advice is valuable and interesting to you.
Are you ready to make the magic of product placement, celebrity event activations, or influencer partnerships help your sales? Visit hollywoodbranded.com to gain access to free content to learn which key tactics best fit your brand. You'll find surveys, webinars, daily blogs, ebooks, and guides, all created to make sure you have access to the best possible marketing practices. Don't forget to join Stacy Jones for our next podcast conversation about marketing mistakes and how to avoid them. Let's make that entertainment marketing magic happen for you.